What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Geek Out Room podcast. Don't forget you can listen to our episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can also watch our episodes on our YouTube channel, Sauceless Entertainment. Let's get it. Interesting conversation today in which it came out that Ubisoft canceled an Assassin's Creed project in which the main character is black and you're fighting against the KKK. And if you never played an Assassin's Creed game, the main character is usually a part of the Assassin's Guild, and you're fighting against the Templars. The Templars have taken, many different sides in history. So for this one, the Templars would have been the KKK. And Ubisoft kind of canceled it because they said, in America it's too divided and it'll be too controversial of a game. And after all the pushback from Yasuke from the recent Assassin's Creed game, they just don't want to go through all that. And I'm very disappointed by this. One, because this would have been an amazing plot. Now, a lot of people are saying this would have been a slam dunk. I don't think so. I think that something like this, where you have a black main character in post Civil War America, and you have the KKK, like all those elements in the game, you have to be very careful. You have to, and by careful, I mean more towards how good the story is how nuanced and how good your writers are. And the last couple Assassin's Creed games, they have not shown me, Ubisoft has not shown me that they have the ability to write something as nuanced as that would be. Because wrong writing on this, it could have turned into a project where it is very one note, or it skipped over a lot of the gruesome details, a part of that dark time in American history. So you need writers that really know what they're talking about and really good at writing dialogue, because you can't you if you're going to write a story like this, you have to make sure you go all the way in and really pull no punches. And I just don't know if Ubisoft has the company wants to even do that, which is again why they canceled it more than anything else, in my opinion. Or will they employ the correct writers who can give you a perspective on this? All right, because I think a game like this, it would have been more one of the most intricate writing jobs they would have had to do for an Assassin's Creed game in a long time, in my opinion. Right? I think that they struck out with the last Assassin's Creed game that was set in Japan, because I just feel like they didn't focus enough on what was important, and I don't think the writing was strong, especially for Yasuke's character. I think they really fumbled on his character. And it's not, yeah, they had racist people who were like, we don't want black people in a fictional game, blah blah blah. But at least it would have settled the storm if the character was written well and the story was right. And it just wasn't. And that's a writing issue. So I don't even know if I would have wanted Assassin's Creed or Ubisoft to tackle this in Assassin's Creed game, unless they're going to take their time and really give the story the time it needs to develop into something special. Because if you mess this one up, it would have been really bad, given the subject material that would have had to be in this thing. So that's one of the important parts. And I can already see where Ubisoft would have messed up in this game writing wise, based off the last couple of years. Like I can already see it. That would have pissed people off, and not people who were pissed off just be pissed off. I'm talking about the people who had spent their hard-earned money to buy this game and play it. I can already see some of the storylines and some of the character interactions that they would have done that would have been really poor writing, that would have pissed people off. Now, setting that aside, let's go to the bigger issue here. And it's, excuse me, we're in a climate where we have made it really hard for people in media or in the creative arts, really, to express themselves with interesting stories that are a commentary on something, whether it's socially or politically or humanitarian. Even looking back on real documented historical events. It's such a weird climate in terms of that. Okay, because honestly, this type of premise, if this was 2010, they would have made this game, no problem. This was like 2007 to like 2015. This would have been made. This is a type of video game that easily would have been made. Okay, there's no reason for it not to be. I don't think it's a controversial video game. I think that the history, the time period, the history in which this game would be covering, or the historical time this game would have been covering, would have pissed off a certain group of people, obviously. But majority of people would have loved this game, and I think that it would have been another staple in this franchise's history. All right, there used to be a time where video games did not shy away. Video games or movies or TV shows did not shy away from heavy subject material. You trusted your directors, you trusted your actors, you trusted the writing team, you trusted them to make it so you can deliver a strong, poignant message while it's still being funny if it was delivered like in a sitcom, right? Or not make it too cheesy or too overly dramatic if it was in a drama movie or something where it's like you want to deliver a point but make it on point for what the character is doing and stuff like that. Like there's so many intricate ways into writing. This shit's not easy. I'm not saying it is. It is not easy at all. But it would have been done. It would have been at least attempted. And now we're in an era where, Jimmy Kimmel will take him off the air, right, for what he said. And the fact that he didn't even say what they say he said, but they misconstrued it and twisted it to make it seem like he said something to justify taking him off the air, right? We just live in such a touchy climate. I don't want to say per se sensitive, but a touchy climate where the people who have the highest authority is reaching, or not even reaching, overreaching, and getting people fired or costing people jobs or millions of dollars. And when that's the situation, if you're a video game company, why would you want to take a risk on this? Because you remember, this is going to take a long time to make. This isn't something that can be made in 6 months and then boom, it's here. This is something that would have taken a lot of man hours, and you have to carefully develop it over time. And then there's that marketing window where you would have to deal with all that backlash that they're saying they wanted to avoid with this game based off the Yasuke backlash. And then the game would have come out. And the last thing you want is to spend millions of dollars on like a video game and not make any money because of these controversies, or let's say the government, because there's no way the right would have wanted this video game to come out, let's be honest. Especially MAGA. So they would have been like, yo, what's this? And would have, just like little thing, just like a simple, there could be a simple Pepsi, well, Pepsi did make a dumbass ad. There could be a simple Sprite ad that could have been some type of way and had some kind of joke in there, joking on the current political climate that we're in right now. And someone in the government would have been like, hey, no, take this off the air or we're going to penalize you some type of way. That's the kind of touch and go climate we're in right now. So tying that back into Ubisoft is like, okay, why would we even want to, or anybody for that matter, why would we want to do this? Is it more trouble than it's worth? And for some people it is. Because again, Ubisoft, it's not like the last couple of Assassin's Creed games have been a home run. All right. The series has not really returned to form. And so on one hand, I don't blame them for not wanting to deal with this. But on the other hand, it's like, okay, well, are you just saying now you're never going to have a black main character because you don't want to deal with racist white people? That doesn't make any sense. That's really stupid. That's very stupid. You're able to have an Assassin's Creed game with a Native American, and you're able to have that story against colonial America and dealing with the Brits and that whole situation, while giving pretty good, not historical context per se, but like, you even, I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, because this game came out like, 2013, 14 or something like that. Talking about Assassin's Creed 3. but you were able to add like actual Native American language in this game, and you took that kind of care into this game, and that wasn't controversial. And yes, 2013, 14, 15 was a different time, but nonetheless, you did it. Modern Warfare 2 with their infamous No Russian mission. That mission, that game, that mission coming out now, or Call of Duty, was it Modern? No, it was still Modern Warfare 2 when the nuke went off back in 2007, 8. When the nuke went off and killed a lot of American soldiers in the Middle East. That is a mission in this climate wouldn't have come out. And if you don't do that, there's so many iconic missions and moments in gaming history that are now erased. And I think at some point, as a creative, if you're creating something, you've got to create it. You can't just hold yourself back in fear of things. The people who support you will support you. You just have to make a good product. You have to care. If you like, for example, they made this game but half-assed it and took some stuff out because they're scared of what racist people would say or do or boycott the game. Who cares if racist people boycott your game? Who cares? And I know in this day and age, it may seem like the majority of people in the United States are racist people who would boycott this. But in reality, it's a very small faction in terms of people who would spend their time to boycott this game. Racism, that's a whole different story, and that's a different conversation. But in terms of people who would spend their time to boycott this avidly, like just spend all their time in doing this, that is a small portion, is what I'm trying to say. You have a fan base who still like your games despite you having some so-so titles over the last couple of years. And I would hate this to be the norm of us continuously not putting our best product out there, or not putting these really interesting and never done before ideas just for the sake of backlash, or the sake of you failed once, right? Again, learn. The whole point is, can you learn? Yes, Yasuke was not handled well. I personally, well, besides the writing being terrible and the game actually not being good, in my opinion anyway, there's different ways to handle it. It's like, hey, you know what? Let's just drop a trailer. Let's not even let them know what the game's going to be about. You just drop a trailer with a black man. I'm also black, by the way. A black man jumping off a rooftop in post-Civil War America and assassinating the head of the KKK or one of their chapters or whatever those racist pieces of shit are. You do something like that, and you just put boom Assassin's Creed, whatever the title would have been, Assassin's Creed Freedom or some shit. Like, bro. And then you put historical black figures for that time in this game. I'm telling you, it would have done numbers, and the trailer would have done numbers. And yes, you would have got pushback, but you would have had so much roaring support. It really, in video games, anyway, it hasn't been done like this, like how Assassin's Creed delivers games, how the Assassin's Creed structure of games is. We've never had something like this. This would have been generational. It would have been generational. And it sucks that fear of an administration that shouldn't be leaving to do anything to them scared them and spooked them from not doing this. It's very sad. It is very unfortunate. But that's, again, the political climate that we live in. That's where the world is right now. This is one of the effects. And I said it. I made a Jimmy Kimmel video about a couple weeks ago. This is what I said was going to happen. I was like, there's going to be a lot of fear and a lot of under the table, a lot of puppeteering, a lot of things happening when it comes to media and when it comes to the creative space, whether it's movies, the movie industry, TV industry, video games, just entertainment industry in general. People, especially when it comes to entertainer, a rich white man and Jimmy Kimmel, if you can touch them and affect them, what do you think they're going to do for the rest of us? So it's an interesting time. I don't know how many more companies stories like this are going to come out of where they had a very interesting idea, but because they were worried about whatever, they're worried about an administration, this administration in particular, and the FCC and all this other stuff, they were scared to really put their all into games and give or in entertainment in general and give us lackluster after lackluster title or stories is going to affect them way more than it's going to affect the administration and the racist people who want to spend their time, their free time arguing on the internet. So, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts on the Assassin's Creed Ubisoft situation. And honestly, like I said, and I talked about a little bit in here, let me know your thoughts in the media in general and like what's going on. Like, where do you think we're going? Because I don't think it's going to safe space. I do think we're going to miss out on a lot of interesting projects, and a lot of projects are going to be not greenlit because of fear of being retaliated against. So, see you on the next one. Keep geeking out. See you in the next one. Keep geeking out.